Man, so welcome to a very special edition, Thursday edition of the Undisputed GOAT podcast. Now, if you've been following us from TikTok long enough, and you know how we get down, then you understand how significant Thursday is for each and every last one of us. We used to do Thursday lives in order to recap the game every Thursday night. So for us to be back on Thursday night on YouTube right now is very, very special. Matter of fact, this is a very special time, man. This is peak season, what I like to call it. You got football going on, although it's the preseason. People would rather see a sorry football game than to be without it. I'm just gonna be real. So you got peak seasons coming up. You got the WNBA at its peak right about now, and you got football season, and we're on the road to SummerSlam. So we're gonna get all into that later on tonight, man. So, but right now, man, I got the panel with me. Excuse me, the owners of the Undisputed Podcast with me, man. The co-owners, man. The co-founders. How y'all doing today, man? How's the day going?
Busy. Just busy. Constantly busy. 10, 11-hour days at work, and just trying to get my body back into shape one more time. And before I get too old to do that, it becomes a pain. And just kind of, just busy. It's a good busy, not a bad busy. I'll put it that way.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. BRF, the gentleman of Georgia.
Oh boy, yeah. This week at work in particular has been pretty. Well, these last couple of weeks have been pretty crazy. We got a special event going on at my store down here where I work at. Just been crazy. But let me know. I can't complain. No life pretty good. I can't complain. I'm just still I have my daughter down for another week or so. She goes back to West Virginia next weekend, so getting the time in. I need to kind of follow y'all's lead, and I need to get into some healthier living myself. I need to get into it. So because I'm a don't let the headshot fool you. I'm a big boy, so I need to get into some stuff myself as well, because I used to lift and all that. I need to get back into it. But all in all, I can't complain. Life pretty good, man. I'm excited about the show, man. I'm excited about the show. I'm hyped. This is a pretty big show for us tonight.
Yes, indeed. Hey, man, but look here, I'm going to just be real. It's easy to be a big boy when that face card got unlimited credit. I'm just going to be real with you. I'm just going to be real with you. When that face card got unlimited credit, you can't get declined, babe. You can't get declined. But
that's true. But I'm feeling a little wolfy right now with this scruff. I need to go and get rid of it. So
okay. Oh, you got the sugar daddy beard going on. Okay, I see.
Oh yeah, but shoot, I ain't got no money. I ain't really got no money. I really ain't got no money to hand out right now, so I ain't trying to claim now.
So instead of a sugar daddy, we can call you Sweet and Low. So
well, I get that word. I get low and low and fat, if you want to call it that. I don't know.
Hey man, that's why you gotta love BRF, and you gotta love the Undisputed GOAT podcast, man. This stuff is unscripted. This is not a script. So, but look, on the sad side of sports, unfortunately, we got to start it off and set the tone on that. There was a long week last week. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to dive into it as it was happening last week. I know right about now we're in the business of everybody trying to be first, but it's whether to deliver quality over quantity, I would say. But last week was a long week. We lost Ozzy Osbourne. We lost him. That was crazy, because he did his farewell tour not too long ago, and to lose him that quickly right after the farewell tour was crazy. We lost Malcolm Jamal Warner, and as you all know, he was from the Cosbys, on Malcolm and Eddie, just to name a few shows. Matter of fact, they was chronicling him. He was about to get ready to bring out a jazz album, because he's a jazz funk artist right about now. So before he died, he was about to get ready to bring out that jazz album. And we lost a guy who was a part of all of our childhoods, with us being millennials and things like that. We lost Hulk Hogan last week, and that was a real big deal, if you want me to be honest, because there was a lot of mixed reactions on the internet. There's a lot of mixed reactions.
Yeah.
So, and that was the whole thing about it. If you really want, I'm gonna set the tone for that. But if you really want me to be honest with you, I'm just gonna be real. It seems like a big part of the '80s died last week. Because when you think about the '80s, you think about the Cosbys, you think about Hulk Hogan, and you think about Ozzy Osbourne. You know, so I mean, when I think about the '80s, I think about Ozzy Osbourne singing "Paranoid" and Iron Man, and just to name a few songs. You know, not to mention Crazy Train. You know, and if you don't know what Crazy Train is, and you of the next generation that came a little bit after us, just go back and listen to Lil Jon Let's Go. He sampled Crazy Train from that. So I just want to know, man, look, I'm going to get into it right about now, man. What was Hulk Hogan's legacy and the impact that he left? Because like I said, there's a lot of mixed reactions. I'm just going to be very, very honest with you. I keep my words soft. I keep my words sweet. Hey, people say disparaging things on the internet, and they say disparaging things all the time. Like I said, but at the end of the day, the man is not here to defend himself anymore. He's not. And down south, we talk to respect the dead, respect everybody that's gone, and keep your words soft and sweet because it could be you or the loved one next. And a lot of wrestlers, although that, you know, there was a lot of other things that came out, not just, you know, certain language and certain racial things that came out, you know, the whole Bubba the Love Sponge situation that came out, and which I don't understand why in the hell I'm not into that type of shit, but I'm just going to be real. Bubba admitted that he was in on it as far as, you know, the bad part of it. I'm not talking about the camera, but I'm talking about, you know, other stuff, if you will. But he openly admit that he knew about the situation before that ever happened. You know, as far as Hulk Hogan and his spouse was concerned, he put her up to it. He openly said that. So why people are harping on that, I don't know. But there's been a lot of wrestlers that have come out and said a lot of good stuff about it, particularly Booker T, Stevie Ray, Devon Dudley. A lot of guys said that Hulk Hogan left an impact on the career. I mean, I remember, never forget, I did a double check with Harlem Heat, and they stated that, I didn't know this, by the way, I really didn't, that their career was stuck in like neutral at a certain point. And Hulk Hogan stepped in and intervened. You know, so, you know, without Hulk Hogan, there would be no Harlem Heat, which I think is the best tag team of all time. That's just me, them and the Road Warriors. But to be honest with you, look, regardless of my feelings, I will let the kid in me speak. The kid in me will say this. The kid in me will say this. Thank you. If it wasn't for you, Hulk Hogan, I wouldn't be watching wrestling. I'm just going to be real. I wouldn't be watching wrestling. I remember the action figures that I got in pre-K where Miss Madison, I remember my pre-K teacher, when we did Secret Santa, and somebody gave me a Hulk Hogan action figure. And that's just the thing. You know, and I remember all of that. And as I stated on the Sports PSP podcast, which PSP is here as we speak, salute the PSP up to 120,000. Look, keep your words soft and sweet. You might have to eat them later on. And guess what? On Judgment Day, God is not going to ask you about Hulk Hogan sins. He's going to ask you about yours. Let's just keep it all the way a buck. And like I said, you don't know. Like I said, it's a real sticky situation. Like I said, I'm not going to take the hate route and saying, well, good riddance. That's distasteful and classless as hell. Because I wouldn't want nobody. If the world found out I beat up somebody, as far as when I was in the army, when I was like 19 years old and I beat the hell out of somebody, all of a sudden they come out when I die. Do I really want people to know about that shit and be holding it against? Well, you know, he beat up this guy when he was. Of course, people get into fights and shit. But I keep my words soft and sweet when it comes to death, because I don't want anybody, if something was to come out about me personally, whether I got into a fight, you know, stuff like that, and people hold that against me when my time is over in this world. So the thing is, I will say this, man, look, Hope made sure all of us would not be fans if it were not for Hulk Hogan. If you don't know anything about wrestling, you know that's what Hulk Hogan does. It's kind of like if you don't know anything about baseball, that's what Barry Bonds does or Ken Griffey Jr. does. So I don't take the hate route, man. I would say this. Thanks to Hulk Hogan, I watch wrestling, and I am able to relate to guys like yourself, like my guys on the panel right now. So I'm just going to say this. Thank you, Hulk Hogan. I appreciate the memories you gave me as a child. And this is just the child speaking, the innocence in me speaking. There's not that much in me left, but this is just a child in me. Thanks, Hulk Hogan. I appreciate you. And look, may you rest well. And guess what? I'm glad to see that you got right with a lot of your peers before you passed. Because a lot of people was holding them again. A lot of people don't go back and do research, although Google is free. He had an interview with Mick Foley where he apologized to Mick Foley about a lot of comments that he made. He apologized about certain comments where he made about him and his daughter and his daughter's girlfriend and his daughter's boyfriend, excuse me. Sorry about that, people. But there was a lot of things that he apologized about, and it seems like a lot of things resurfaced. Now, a lot of things did resurface, like him firing the young lady because she was of a certain demographic. But the thing is, like I said, it is not cool to slander someone when they pass away. Like I said, I will let the kid in me speak and not take that hate route. That's not me right about there. And I'm just going to leave it at that because, like I said, without Hulk Hogan, I would not be watching wrestling. And look, if you want to keep it all the way a buck, there's no two other people that influenced us to lift weights more than Hulk Hogan and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Two people that influenced entire generations to lift weights and get them 24-inch pythons was Hulk Hogan and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So those two guys really set the tone for a generation. Granted, we lost our way a little bit, but hey, and look, let's not discredit the NWO, man. That was the hip-hop era, the hip-hop version of wrestling. So like I said, I keep my words soft and sweet. I don't want to have to eat them later on because guess what? If it comes out later on, hey, man, you got into a fight with a guy when you was in the Army or you got into a fight down the street with somebody or whatever, I don't want people holding that against me. I know that's not of the same caliber, but the thing is, these days, if you go outside and throw a banana in somebody's yard, somebody's going to hold that against you. Well, you know he threw a banana in somebody's yard when you pass away. But I always say, man, keep your words soft and sweet. Two things can be true, and at the end of the day, he has a family. He's no longer here to speak and defend himself. So to take the hate route would be classless. But I would love to know the wrestling savant's opinion of it. Whoever wants to go first.
You want to go BRF? All right, I can tackle it. It's up to you.
You know what? I'll go. I'll take it. Not gonna lie. When I got the news, I was at work and I saw the first thing I saw was the TMZ report. I saw that he had died, and I didn't know how to feel because there's part of me that because I'll be honest with you, I watched WCW first when I got into wrestling. It was WCW that got me into wrestling, so it was like Sting and Luger and like Vader and those guys like that got me into wrestling. I'm not even saying it to slander Hulk Hogan. I mean, it's a fact. It was WCW that initially got me into wrestling, but it was the World Wrestling Federation at the time that really kind of brought it all in for me. Seeing guys like Hogan, seeing guys like Savage, seeing guys like a young Bret Hart, a young Jim Anvil Neidhart, British Bulldog. Like it was the Rockers, Shawn. Yeah, like when I was growing up, the Rockers was like my favorite tag team, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. So it was kind of like that whole just like generation just really kind of put it in perspective how fun of a spectacle, how fun that wrestling could be. Like I said this on Sports PSP's podcast, and I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on it. I feel like two things can be true about a person. on one hand. A lot of people are saying Hulk Hogan was in the right place at the right time. He was chosen by Vince McMahon to really kind of take that mantle and take that torch and be that face to take the World Wrestling Federation to levels it had never been. And he was in the right place at the right time. I mean, business says welcome. It's what it does. I mean, it picks. I mean, it picks who is best for it, and they roll with it. I mean, I like you hear commentary and all that, like, oh, that could have been anybody, and I'm like, could it really have been? I mean, like, could the Ultimate Warrior have really taken the World Wrestling Federation the way Hulk Hogan did? Could Macho Man Randy Savage had really taken it the way Hulk Hogan did? Like, don't get me wrong, two charismatic figures. Don't get me wrong. Hulk Hogan was just like this larger than life, just persona that I think was in the right mold for what Vince McMahon wants at the time. And I mean, he perfectly fits the Vince McMahon mindset anyway. So honestly, if you look at the Vince McMahon mindset, nobody was going to do it like a Hulk Hogan. Nobody was going to do it like that. So you have to respect. You have to put respect on what he did for the business. You have to put respect on taking it to the mainstream and being in the movies and the TV shows and the cartoons and really taking the World Wrestling Federation at the time mainstream and just making it the global phenomenon that it is today. You can't erase him from the wrestling history books. I mean, you can't, because he probably influenced your favorite wrestler, and their favorite wrestler, and their favorite wrestler. I mean, he had influence. I mean, come on. I mean, Hulk Hogan was like, I mean, he's like our generation's like, he's like, if he's not the icon, he's like he's in that select class of like just sheer iconic. Like, you can't talk about wrestling without him. You just can't do it. But it's like, I kind of felt indifferent because of like, I don't want to like completely just shun him over the last 10 years. But at the same time, it's like, okay, like the story about Booker T, that's the first I heard of that. Like, he was the reason that Harlem Heat got the push they got. That's the first time I heard that story. And don't get me wrong, I think that's awesome. I think what makes it then, but this is what people got to understand about my feelings about this. It's like, we know what Hulk Hogan has said. We know what was written about him. We know what's been said about him since 2015. His death is exactly the 10-year anniversary of that audio, of that rant he went on about Brooke and the guy she was dating at the time. It was exactly 10 years to the day. If you've really done that for another culture of people, as far as lifting them up in the business and putting a good word out for them, if you've done this, why would you say the thing you said? Why would you say that? If you know the kind of lasting impact you've had on champ, let's say, on our culture, if you know the type of lasting impact you've had on our culture and a lot of the wrestlers that we love, whether it was Booker T, Stevie Ray, whether it was Harlem Heat, whether it was D'Lo, whether it was Devon, just anybody of our culture, like 90s up 2000s, like anybody, if you know and you understand the kind of lasting impact you had, why say what you said? And I mean, granted, if you apologize, if you wanted to, like, do the right thing and kind of like repent for what you did, but why even let that come out your mouth? I don't care if it was a moment of panic, a moment of just cluelessness. It's the fact that that came out your mouth. And you went a while without apologizing for it. And that's not the only thing you said. at all. Like, you know, like when your son was in that car accident, that was almost a fatal accident. And the karma comment, and I'm just, why would you say that? I mean, I feel like a lot of, and he ain't the only one. A lot of people have said some stupid stuff that they're still kind of carrying with them and having to repent and having to show remorse and regret for every day. He's not the only one, but you being Hulk Hogan, and now these black wrestlers are coming out and basically saying, but like the big one for me is Harlem Heat, because we know what Harlem Heat means to tag team wrestling. Champ, you have them as the greatest tag team of all time. I have them easily in my top 5. I have them, honestly, if you want to combine WCW and WWE, WWF, for me, if you combine them, they're in my top 5. They're not the greatest to me, but they're easily in my top 5.
Absolutely.
Just because of the way they wrestled and the aggression and the pace, and like they were different and they were new and they were fresh for the time. It was something tag team wrestling needed, and they took that mantle and they raised the bar as far as tag team wrestling. At one point, in my opinion, they were the bar when it came to tag team wrestling. But it's just the fact that why would you let that come out your mouth? Because people are going to question if you really felt that way. I mean, that's what people are going to do it. I mean, that's just human nature. People are going to wonder, like, man. So it's like, dang. I mean, from that standpoint, this is how I feel. You have to understand why a lot of those people are coming out in support and mourning him and talking about everything that he's done for the business and what kind of person they felt he was. At the same time, though, you cannot police those who may feel a certain type of way about him either. You kind of got to stay out. You kind of. Yeah, it's like one of those, like, you're either in one lane or you're in the other lane, or you just gonna be, or you gonna take the road that you probably should take and just stay in the middle, because it's one of those things where it's like, we understand one side, but you have to completely understand the other side, and you can't police them. I mean, you can have your opinion. I mean, you can feel a certain type of way. You don't have to agree with it, but it's one of those where it's like, this ain't like uncommon knowledge for people. Stuff been going on like this ever. So I mean, it's one of those slippery slope type subjects that you have to kind of be wary of. But but at the same time, though, if you're going to speak on it, you have to speak from a level of being concrete in what you say, standing 10 toes down, and just like not running from it, but also just being respectful of the moment, but also understanding like the world and I guess if you want to say the heartbeat of society. So yeah, I kind of, it's basically like nothing's really changing for me when I spoke about it on PSP's pod, and shout out to PSP, by the way. Yeah, like Hulk Hogan for me is like it's like two things can be true. Yeah, you have to give respect for the business and what he did, because regardless whether if he was in the right place or not, he made it his moment. He made it his own. He took the ball and he ran with it. But there's the man outside the character, man, there was a lot to be desired. But at the end of the day, he's not here to defend himself anymore. I'm not gonna throw more dirt on his burial ground. I'm not gonna do that. I don't need to do that. So I just want to speak from BRL Sports perspective. And my perspective is, as much as I admire and respect everything you did for the business, if only you were able to kind of change some things up while you were here, that way you not being here, and now it's just like, it's it's like the court of public. I mean, it's like the court of public opinion. It's not stopping even with him not being here anymore. But yeah, that's like I said, it's one of the things you have to like. If you're gonna speak on it, speak on it with truth and respect, but just also respect. I think you have to respect the point of views of of both sides of the room. So that's how I feel about it.
Funny thing about that, before you go, Flash, piggybacking on what you said, right place at right time. People will always say he was at the right place at the right time. But the thing is, a lot of people don't watch wrestling and the history of wrestling as a whole, because originally Hulk Hogan was the main guy for the AWA in Minnesota. And they were about before Vince snatched him up. Because the thing is, Vince didn't look at Hulk Hogan first. That wasn't his first choice. His first choice was Dusty Rhodes. If you watch the Vince McMahon documentary, his first choice was Dusty Rhodes. He wanted Dusty Rhodes. He couldn't get Dusty Rhodes because Dusty was loyal to the South. He was loyal to Florida and Georgia Championship Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance. So he kind of scalped Hulk Hogan away from AWA and Vern Gagne. Because remember, they had a deal with CBS ready to go for a weekly program because of Hulk Hogan that was going to feature Hulk Hogan. So it's more than just right place, right time. It's just the right. It's more than that, because I believe if he would have stayed in the AWA, they'd still be alive today, because Vern Gagne was a hell of a promoter. God rest his soul as well. So, and plus, a lot of stars that went to WWE, those were, during the golden era and the new generation era, those were Vern Gagne's guys.
Yeah.
The Rockers were Vern Gagne guys. And Scott Hall, Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude, those guys were Sensational Sherry. Those were Vern Gagne guys. But history likes to rewrite itself. The winners write the history books. But a lot of the guys who were in the golden era, those were Vern Gagne guys. I mean, those were the big stars that came to Vince. Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mean Gene, even Eric Bischoff. Even Eric Bischoff was a Vern Gagne guy. He started his career in the AWA. So I think it's bigger than, he was at the right place at the right time. And don't forget about, before I let you go, don't forget about Thunder Lips. from Rocky. Don't forget about Thunder Lips.
Yeah, but you're right, though. But I mean, we're laughing about it, but that was a massive moment for wrestling.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the many reasons why Hogan grew to what he was, and what wrestling, when wrestling became a global phenomenon. That was one of the biggest moments in general. Well, first I'm going to speak on his career. When we talk about Mount Rushmores, and we've had this discussion on like who's the Mount Rushmore, and I think in the last 10 or so years, he's become, he's become a meme in some aspects, and people forgot what he did for the business and who he was originally. Before he became that's not going to work for me, brother, like that guy, and then all the other really bad, other complicated stuff along with that. But I think Triple H said, when he said the Mount Rushmore, he is the Mount Rushmore. There is no 80s era. It doesn't go global. I said this in my TikTok video. He is Jordan level-esque when it comes to when it was the 80s and the 90s. You could go anywhere in the globe and ask who he was, and people knew exactly who he was. That's pre-internet. Okay? Infancy of cable news or cable TV, by the way. Okay? To be that huge, he was on the level of Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Madonna, the Beatles, Elvis, like that big, that massive of a star. We don't have an Attitude Era. We don't have a Stone Cold Steve Austin. We don't have a John Cena. We don't have The Rock. We don't have any of that. We don't have wrestling as it is today without him. When he turned and formed the NWO, when I say that the two biggest moments in pop culture in the early 90s or into the mid 90s was the death of Superman in the comics and the heel turn of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan turning heel was as big as Superman dying in the comics. And if you're not old enough to know what was going on when Superman actually died in the comics, that was a national news story that was covered on a weekly basis leading up to the release of that comic. Like having Superman die in the comic Hogan was Superman. Seeing Superman die
on Doomsday.
Yes. And watching Hogan turn, Hogan was the ultimate good guy. He was Superman. The closest thing that we had to a real life Superman was him as the character of Hulk Hogan. You know, the say your prayers, drink your milk, blah, 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 you know, all that, take your vitamins, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's not, I don't think that his legacy, I think people bringing up his legacy right now and how important he was to the business is a good thing, because I think, and on that aspect, I think it's really important as a wrestling fan to know your history and to know where you came from. So with that being said, I do realize the situation that I'm in right now. And I think that here's my thing with Hogan. I think one thing that we have a culture nowadays on the internet that what you kind of touched on, if you throw a banana peel in somebody's yard, like you are now the spawn of Satan, essentially. There is this level of purity that you must have now to exist. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think people should be called out for the wrong things that they do. I absolutely think that they should. But I also want to kind of point out, and this is a difficult subject, but I also think that we're forgetting a little bit of the era that he's from. He is a 60s, 70s, and 80s adult. Yes, he into the 90s and the 2000s, but the 70s was way different and the 80s was way different than what it is now. I know in my own personal life, a lot of older people, most of them have passed on by now, but who were amazing people, but still had really weird and what would be considered offensive views nowadays. And I think holding people to today's standards, to an era that they, not saying that they shouldn't change or should change, or I'm sorry, it's not that they shouldn't change, but I also think that that's something that's kind of lost and forgotten. I also think that we, as a society, when it comes to celebrities, we only hear part of the story. Like Booker T never came out and said this. Devon Dudley never came out and said the things that he did. And I also think I look back at what he said about Brooke's boyfriend, and it was awful. But I also look at how we look at superstars in general. Shawn Michaels was a terrible person on the level of Hogan. By all accounts, that like Michaels was one of the worst human beings in the wrestling business, pre him leaving and then becoming a Christian. Stone Cold Steve Austin has a domestic violence charge where he beat up Deborah.
Jimmy Snuka. Not alive in the situation.
We could go on about when it comes to massive stars. We could go into musicians, actors, and actresses, and what they are as human beings. And I think it's an interesting thing on why we forgive some people and let stuff go, but others we don't. So why is Austin's thing just nobody brings it up anymore when they talk about his legacy? Why is that? Why does that just get swept under the rug? Why?
That's a good question. I've never thought about that. I didn't even remember that until you said it. I'm just going to be very, very honest with you.
I did. What? And look, I do this too. I'm not saying that I don't do this. Why do we have selective forgiveness? And I think the fact that he tried to repent, and as a Christian, tried to repent and say he was sorry on multiple levels and to multiple people. I have done some really bad things in my life, things that I'm really ashamed of as a person. And I hope to, and I hope that when I get up to the gates that if Jesus goes, nah, dude, sorry. I'm like, I understand. And I'm going to turn around and walk the other way.
I'm not laughing at what you said. I'm laughing at how you said, like, I get it.
I get it. I understand. Or he's gonna go, oh, we're letting you in. Like I think human beings are complicated. And I think that we simplify being a human being and living on a day-to-day basis way too much. It's not being a human being and living and dealing with other people is not easy. And I think you're right that he's not here to defend himself, but he was defending himself before he died. He was asking for forgiveness. He said he was sorry. And the fact that other people are coming out and saying that he wasn't that bad of a person, he did bad things. But I also want to point out that any top guy in the wrestling business wants to stay on top. He did what everybody else did. Cena did it. There's years of him burying people to stay on top. Austin did the same thing. Michaels did the same thing. I mean, did the thing he did do to Taker, was that pretty fucked up? Yeah, it was. But like that's one of the reasons why Taker doesn't like him or didn't like him. But like,
oh, you got me, brother.
Yeah. Oh, you got me, brother. Like,
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's funny. I have a meme that I've been meaning to share. Like there's a meme of him getting up to the gates of heaven and he's talking to Jesus and he goes to Jesus. Oh, that's not going to work for me, brother. And it's funny, but I do think that, look, and I'm not excusing what he said. I'm not. It was bad stuff. But I also think that we look at celebrities and I think we have selective forgiveness. And I want to bring up the question, why? Why is it okay for like I said, nobody talks about Austin beating up a woman. But it happened.
Yeah, we don't really talk about the whole Jimmy Snuka situation. In fact, if it wouldn't have been for the dark side of the ring, then I thought it was a rumor at first.
No.
But the thing is, it goes back to something that PSP says, and I always say this: people are going to remember you how they want to remember you.
Yes,
it's
very
just
true.
like this. Like I said, I just put it out there. Hell, if it came out after I passed away, I got into this big old fight when I was in the Army, and it came out. I mean, it's just like, hell, everybody's going to rush like, shit. Champs don't get in the fight. Champs doesn't get into fights like that. Shit, that was a crazy moment. But the thing is, here's the thing. I will say this. When you start, and especially, I hate to say this because I hate being the hot take guy, but when you start bringing in, no matter what demographic that you want to talk about, you start bringing in that R word, that brings up a whole nother thing. In a lot of people's eyes, being a racist, I'm just going to go ahead and say that's worse in a lot of people's eyes than being a damn murderer. Yeah. In a lot of people's eyes. I mean, no matter what race it is, if you are racist or prejudiced, in a lot of people's opinion, that's worse than being a murderer. And I mean, that's probably the worst thing that you could be, right? I mean, especially now. I mean, given, you know, the climate of everything that's going on, we're not going to get into it on this show. It's not 60 Minutes. This is a sports show. But there's a lot of skeletons in the closet. And not just, you know, Michaels. What was the other guy? I mean, what was the other guy? They Dr. Schultz slapped the shit out the reporter in front of everybody. I mean, rumor had it that he slapped Mr. T. That's how come he wasn't involved in wrestling. There was even Jim Brown. People say, you know, even Jim Brown, he had a history of DV. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you do have a point about the selective things. But yeah, when you think about like I said, you think about the racist comments and stuff like that, in a lot of people's mind, that puts you at a different echelon. People don't forget that shit. I mean, they don't. It's kind of like saying
it's the unforgivable sin in this country, and
it's unforgivable. I mean, it's kind of like.
But I want to ask.
The only other thing that will probably get you canceled quicker than that is calling somebody a blank, calling somebody the F word. That probably racist, and that will get you put on a chopping block and get you on the guillotine quick. So,
I got a question though. So you were in the military, you're in the Army, okay?
Yeah.
I'm the son of military father or whatever, and I had a lot of military friends. Boys will be boys, and I'm sure you being in the Army, you've been around boys that say some fucked up shit, whether it's joking or not.
Yeah. I've been around that's why I brought up the fight that I got into.
Yeah.
I mean, because I got into a big fight with somebody during that time. And like I said, I know that's not equivocation of that, but how bad I beat this dude's ass was really kind of my mom was really amazed. But the thing is, and people really call me certain names after that fight happened. So, but the thing is, if that comes out later and like later on in life, if somebody says, you know, I remember Champ did this so-and-so when he was in the Army, then yeah, people are gonna hold that against me, and rightfully so. Hell, I beat the dude up pretty badly. But the thing is, two things can be true. But the thing is, when you think about, especially how sensitive race relations is right about now, how sensitive everything is right about now, how it seems like this whole damn place really finna fall the hell apart right about now. Even as we're talking and the world is about to blow up, if somebody say one thing wrong, it's really a sensitive thing. And like I said, people will forgive you about a lot of things. Hell, if you look at how much of a mythical figure that OJ became later in his life. He was all on camera on the Macy show and stuff like that. You know, but people do not forgive you for being, you know, a racist. People will forgive you for a hell of a lot of shit. But when you start bringing in that, it's like that's unpardonable. Either that or P3DO. Them two things really get you up and at them real quick. Those are the two things. What's your opinion, BRF? I'd love to hear what you got to say, bro.
Dude, I don't know. I do hear where Flash is coming from, the selective forgiveness, because I was surprised to hear about, you know, the Stone Cold situation, him, you know, the DV, and yeah, it's almost like we've kind of like, you know, swept that under the rug since it's happened. Oh gosh, I'm trying to. Lord, it's hard to explain.
It's a hard thing to do. We're complicated human beings. I mean, you know, there have been accusations of, you know, for Ric Flair being racist, and Flair, for all his massive issues, the womanizing and drinking and all the other crap that he's done, and
y'all's daughters ain't in the room with y'all, is it?
No.
Okay. You know, snatching his dick out on the damn airplane and helicopter in front of everybody. Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
I mean, you laughing, but this shit happened. You know, you over there snatching your meat out on the plane, dude, like you Jay Diesel, and you know you just slipping it around.
Dude, did you the story, dude? Think about the story about the slop bucket that got dumped on Sonny. And all the wrestlers that I was blunt. Like, shit in it, pissed in it, spit in it. And Taker was one that told that story. I'm just saying. I didn't claim to. I was debating all day how I was going to talk about this, but I think it's a really interesting human subject because we do this, where we. Like, I was actually kind of surprised. Well, not sort of. I was kind of surprised, but not really. That he got booed when he came out in California. Like that.
I was not.
I was shocked a little bit.
No,
but that badly.
That's his town. I mean, he's from Venice Beach, California.
Yeah, like that bad. Like I expected it to be half and half, but I didn't expect it to be like that bad. I don't know. I just think I think people are complicated. And I think our relationship with celebrities and athletes is complicated. I mean, look, Michael Jordan was by all metrics a terrible person in his private life when he was playing. It's weird. It's weird how I just think I don't even know how to why. I don't even the psychology behind it on why I'm actually very curious. But I don't even know where to start that part of the conversation. I'm not smart enough to break that down, but I just think it's fascinating in a human level. And I look at it, and I guess from my own Christian faith, I look at it as the man went around apologizing and trying to repent for the stuff that he did wrong, which is what we should all do. And a lot of people don't do that. And I think that needs to be brought up and stated as well. So that's my piece on it. I know it's just complicated. That's how I look at it.
You know what's so funny about what you just said? People have selective forgiveness, and some people are so perfect that people go around here pulling shit out of their ass in order to try to find something about it. Yeah. Like, although we give LeBron hell for, the books and, capping and shit like that, he's squeaky clean.
Look, again, it's the thing that I brought up.
Look
at John Jones and Daniel Cormier. John Jones cheats, multiple OWIs, hit a car with a pregnant woman in it, and everybody loves John Jones, and everybody hated on DC.
Yeah, we brought that up a couple of weeks ago. Like I said, but you bring up an interesting point, and I didn't think about that until you said it. You bring up an interesting point about that. That's a very, very interesting point. And like I said, people, it's like, and like I said, I hate to keep using LeBron. It's like with LeBron, you're so good, it makes us sick. It's like, you do all of this charity work, you give back, you have your own damn school, you do all of this work. You're not. I think LeBron may have gotten in trouble one time in his career with the police. I think there was that speeding ticket. He was driving his brand new Mercedes in damn Cleveland.
But by all metrics, LeBron, he's with his high school sweetheart.
Yeah,
like he's a great father.
Yeah.
By all
people
metrics,
pull stuff out of their behind. Yeah, people pull stuff out of their ass trying to find. He's on steroids. He's on what the hell is this coming from?
It's weird. It's a weird thing. I don't know why we do it. We just do it. And I just think it's a fascinating topic. Yeah, by all metrics, he's a good person, separate from his basketball career. And he's a great, he's one of the greatest of all time too. But look at Kobe. That gets swept under the rug now. Now he got his heat when it happened, and he had to go through hell at first. But that gets
not necessarily, because I would never ever forget, because the world damn near exploded when Gail brought that up with the Lisa Leslie interview. You remember that, BRF?
I do.
Yeah, the damn world damn near exploded.
What happened?
When
Gail King basically she was interviewing Lisa Leslie, and she basically brought up the Colorado situation in the interview. Like this was like immediately after he died.
Oh yeah.
And Lisa Leslie was saying, she was like, I don't believe that's in Kobe's character. He was never. I've hung out with him so many times. He said I've hung out with Kobe versus a lot of other NBA players, and Kobe was never that guy who was sending me out to find other women and doing all that other stuff. And she said, "Oh, you." And I think the whole asking, "Are you sure about that?" or something of that nature, kind of pushed everybody over the edge. Like she just told you her experience. Like, why are you just letting that go? And what's so funny about that, she came out and blamed the network for it after that. But that's Oprah's homegirl, so you can't say too much. It's kind of like y'all. If I own a damn network, you better not say shit to Flash, damn BRF and PSP. You can say something to everybody else, but you better not say that to them damn three. Otherwise, your ass gonna get fired. I'm just gonna be real. But yeah, so
they do that. We're gonna light their ass up and then they get fired. So I mean, it's all good.
So you better not say that to them three. The other guys, you have at it, but you better. But the thing was, and I think Charles Barkley got a lot of flack for saying that. I know y'all are gonna bring up the things in Colorado, but the thing is, y'all acting like we're celebrating him as a hero. We're celebrating him as a basketball player. We're celebrating him as life. I don't think that was swept up on the rug because the first thing that people brought out.
Yeah, when he died, no, there was he when he did die, there was online backlash compared to Hogan.
Yeah,
there was a lot because and that part of that was because it was right around the time of the Me Too movement. So but I'm saying now, look at what Kobe is like, how people look at him now, and but that's rarely brought up now. Now it's just Mamba mentality and blah 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 blah. And now everybody's mad at his widowed ex-wife. I shouldn't say ex-wife, but widowed wife because she's pregnant, and everybody's mad because she got she's allowed to. Oh yeah,
she's allowed to live.
Yeah. No, the thing is, she came out and said that she wasn't pregnant. Like she came out and said and openly said, "I am not pregnant."
Yeah, and there was I don't know where that came from. It's so weird.
It was weird as hell. That was one of the weirdest interviews ever.
We have this weird relationship with celebrities. We do. It's just odd. We are a weird species, and so I look at Roethlisberger. Look at stuff that he did, and
they don't bring that up at all.
They don't bring that up at all. So I think it's yes. Do I think that people should be called out for their bad behavior? Absolutely. Do I think that we should, especially if that person tries to repent and say they're sorry, do I think that we should absolutely hold it over their head? Like no, because we've all done terrible things. And I just and said terrible things. I mean, some worse than others. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I think I'm the child in me cried. I won't lie. I'm the oldest of the three of us, and the child in me cried watching some of the edits on TikTok and watching part of my childhood die. That was a rough week having those three die. That was rough. That was bad. I said it in the chat. I felt very mortal last week.
Yeah, we had a discussion about that, me and in the group chat that we have.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted, people. These are my brothers. I don't just talk to them in new podcasts. We talk about real life shit too. These are my guys. So in real life. So yeah, we talked about that, man. And it was, like I said, between Malcolm, Jamal Warner dying, Ozzy passing away, and Hope, it was like, damn, childhood over. Time to grow up.
Yeah.
Whatever kid left in you, because nowadays we full grown German shepherds on this show. So it's just like whatever kid in you had left, that just passed away. So not to mention, a lot of things, some things came out about Bruce Willis. I'm like, damn, it's like that was at one of them points like, don't you dare. Like, that's enough for this week. But I must say, man, look, that's an interesting perspective that you brought on, Flash, and you as well, BRF. Two things can be true, and how we quickly forget everybody else that we like, but when one other person do it, then does something crazy, then we kind of quick to kind of turn the blinds eye to it, or as one of these famous guys that I used to love on TikTok used to say, it's cool when they do it, it's a problem when I do it. But that's an interesting perspective, and I did not think about that. I didn't even know Stone Cold had the DV situation until you said something about it. I really didn't know. And I'm like, well, damn, but, and Deborah, if you watching, baby, I miss you being on TV.
Another part of our childhood.
Yeah, and she actually worked. Did you know that? I did not know that. They did not get along in real life. I did not know that.
See, that's the thing too. Like I remember when Tiger Woods had that accident, and then all his whole personal life just went to shit.
Yeah.
And everybody and their mother, and I remember it plain as day, where it was like he owes people an apology and blah 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 blah. And I bought his golf clubs and shirts, and I went, dude, you bought T-shirts because he's a great golfer, not because he's a great person. Like, the only person he owed apologies to was his wife and his children. That's it. And his family.
I didn't really understand that whole blow up and how he had to give a fucking press conference. It's not like you went out there and committed a fucking crime. You went out there and you got your Shane Diesel on. You out there getting your groove on, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was not, in my humble opinion, it was not that fucking serious.
Well,
just being real.
When he was hopped up on whatever he was hopped up and then crashed a car, that was pretty bad. But but him cheating on his wife, like, dude, I shouldn't say all. A lot of these athletes have a hole in every city. Let's just be real.
Shit, they be playing 21 holes in every city. You know what I'm saying?
McNair, and it killed them. Look at Steve McNair. It killed him. And I'm not even joking. It did. That's what killed him.
I was good till Champ said 21 holes. I lost it. Boy, I had to go. I had to go.
You go, hey man, look, to be honest with you, not to try to bring up skeletons in the closet, but there was one particular basketball player, I won't say his name, he played back in the 80s. They said when he would go everywhere, they would go out to his inbox. Back then they had to put letters in the inbox as far as, your little letters or whatever. He said he would go to every city and there will be like notebooks this thick full of phone numbers. You remember, I never forget when they said, the late great Muhammad Ali, he was a hardcore I remember Angelo Dundee had said, he said, man, I'll never forget Muhammad Ali he was doing a boxing match, like after a boxing match, he made his way through that whole damn floor. I mean, it's just like, and the thing is, we don't even think about Muhammad Ali like that.
Think about the dude that works at Home Depot that for some odd reason gets laid a lot at the bar because he's good looking. The dude that makes $15 an hour, that's like 22 years old, but he gets laid a lot. Now take that and make him a gazillionaire.
Yeah.
And he's famous. Dude, I would have had 70,000 children.
I wouldn't have had all them damn kids. I wouldn't have had all them damn kids because I know how my dad and my mom is, and they would have kind of kept me straight with all that damn money, make sure I wasn't doing stupid shit. But I'd have had a little fun. I had a little fun. I'd have been out there having a little fun. I ain't gonna even flex. So shit,
It's kind of one of those things where it's like, man, if I knew then what I know now, the body count would be a little ridiculous.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's not what I knew then. If I had the money back then,
Well,
if I heard
yeah.
money,
Well, yeah. If I knew, yeah. You knew then what you knew now with the money on top. The good Jesus. Oh, my Lord.
hell, I would just be real. Hell, my first Army paycheck was $500 back in 2006. My first Army paycheck was $500. I was making $500 every 2 weeks before I got BAH. So that was crazy. So yeah, I mean, especially when you see Clay Thompson, Meg Thee Stallion, part of me was like, damn, I should have kept boxing. I'm just saying, man, it's Meg Thee Stallion. It is, you know. So I really didn't get why he had to go up there and give up, you know, embarrassed. You just got caught with your hand in the cookie jar. It wasn't. You ain't go out there and just slap the shit out of somebody in a bar.
No, you just banged a
Hooters with a golf club or got your Grand Theft Auto on. You just went out there and got your hand in the cookie jar. I didn't really feel.
He just had all he had was some like Hooters waitress like clean his golf balls. That's it. Like
you got your GTA San Andreas cheat code on. Is what you did.
Yeah. Whatever.
Hell, he was, bro. Tiger was that dude, bro. Just gonna be out there running.
Yeah.
Out there running.
Dude, let's just be honest. Look, let's just be honest. Tiger was that, you could tell. Tiger was that nerdy kid when he was younger. All he did was play golf. That was it. And then all of a sudden, dude got money and a Swedish hot wife. But then all of them like Applebee's waitresses that when he was a 13-year-old kid, that was like, I'll never have one of those. And now all of them Applebee's waitresses were just like, I want some Tiger. And he was like, hell yeah. And yeah, so what? That's like when everybody got mad at Bill Clinton for what he did at first, when it was just a sexual relationship. And everybody's mad about that. And I'm like, y'all know your presidential history at all? Just saying. Like, you know.
I mean, he looked up to JFK. God rest his soul. So
yeah, well, we know what JFK did.
FDR had a mistress. FDR had a mistress. Like, let's not act like, you know.
FDR had a mistress? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
when you get to be that, my grandfather said it. I asked that man why he never ran for office. And he said, you have to sell, at some point, you have to sell your soul or give up your principles, because to get anywhere in it, to get that high in at that level, you have to compromise your principles at some point.
Is that why Jesse Ventura won't run for president?
What?
Is that why Jesse Ventura won't run for president?
I think that's part of it.
That's part of it.
Why a lot of people don't. I wouldn't want that job. All the stress and then on the stress and on top of it, like, yeah, because you got to play dirty pool, and it's not easy, and you have to make tough calls. So it's just, yeah. Like I said, we're a weird, complicated species, and I think people simplify us a little way too much.
Hey, for anybody who is on here, man, I encourage you, if you're thinking about running for president, go listen to Dolomite for President. You will have a million laughs. I will just be very, very honest with you. Go listen to Dolomite for President. Speaking of presidents, let's stay in the wrestling lane, man. SummerSlam. What are y'all most looking forward to at this point?
SummerSlam is going to be the PLE of the year. I'm calling it right here. I don't think there's going to be another I don't think there's going to be another PLE from here on out that's going to match the potential of what SummerSlam has. I don't. That SummerSlam as a card is already booked like 5 times better than what WrestleMania was, and that's crazy to say. Like, people were mad about Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. That's one of the matches I'm actually excited about. Because they pulled me in. That match pulled me in. What else? I think Cody and Cena is going to be better, because I love putting the street fight rules on this match. Like, I think a match like that with you need, for something like this. I think with Cena from this point on, it's like bells and whistles and smoke and mirrors and just Let them just overbook the crap. Let them beat the daylights out of each other. Weapons, disguise, mask some stuff. Just let them go out. Just let them go all out. Just overbook the daylights out of it, and just see where it goes. I mean, I'm really intrigued to see where it goes because this is about as unpredictable as a show we've had in a long, long time. It's one of those things where it's like you can maybe predict some of the stuff. I can't predict not one thing as far as how it's going to go on this entire card. I can't predict anything. I don't know how it's going to go. And then like you're hearing and then you're hearing rumors like after the fact, like you're hearing AAA, you're hearing the WWE is considering putting the AAA Mega Championship on Dom. Like you're hearing you're hearing like so much stuff. Like and I'm excited for the Intercontinental title match too with him and AJ. I'm excited for that. Lord, just I feel like SummerSlam is gonna 2 nights. I feel like they are making up for what WrestleMania 41 should have been. They're making up for it with SummerSlam. And I think SummerSlam is really going to check out the box. And I think SummerSlam's about to from the first match to the main event of night 2. I think SummerSlam's about to absolutely just blow the roof off of MetLife. It's MetLife. It's gonna be open anyway. They about to tear MetLife down. I really do feel like SummerSlam's about to really reawaken some people. Like I really do feel it. If I have to narrow down, if there was one match that I'm just absolutely ready for more than any match on the card, it's probably I think it's the entire angle as far as you have the Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and then the CM Punk Gunther match, and how this is going to tie in with Seth Rollins and what's going to happen. I think that's like the.
You think it's a work now? His injury.
Yeah. I still think it's a work.
I do. Called it from the beginning.
Like I said from the jump, I thought there was some. I did think he was slightly hurt, but I didn't think it was like being out 6 to 9 months hurt. I don't think he's out like that. It would not shock me one bit if he shows up at SummerSlam. Wouldn't shock me at all. Wouldn't shock me at all. And not just show up, but cash in and win the World Heavyweight Championship. Would not shock me a bit. Wouldn't shock me at all.
I think they're setting up a long program with him and Punk to go, and it'll culminate it'll happen at WrestleMania. But Punk's going to have to go through Breaker and Bronson Reed just to get to Rollins.
See, and here's I don't know. And the thing is, I agree.
I think wins, and then Seth cashes in and costs him the title.
That's what I'm starting to think more and more like what's going to happen. That's what I'm thinking was going to happen because I don't know because I feel like WrestleMania 42 is going to go like one of 2 ways, and they're both involving Seth. It's either going to be Seth Punk, or we're going to get that WrestleMania Seth Roman match. It's gonna be one of those 2. It's going to be one of those 2.
I think they hold off on Roman Seth until next year's SummerSlam.
I could see that. I could see that.
I gotta ask you this question. How do y'all feel about Travis Scott not wrestling no more, man? I gotta ask y'all that question.
Okay, whatever. Okay, whatever.
He's no longer trying to wrestle and stuff like that.
Okay, whatever. When they were talking about, he wasn't like fully into it, I wasn't shocked at all. That man's got too much stuff on his plate. I'm not shocked at all. So it is what it is. Honestly, I think I think Jelly Roll is probably better to be the celebrity involved anyway because he's talked about this. Like he's talked to Triple H multiple times. Like he wants to do this. He wants to do this. So I think Jelly Roll is going to go all in on this, and he's done a hell of a job selling this match and promoting this match. Like people were mad. People were mad about the idea at first, but I think the SmackDown segment, I think that got him.
Bro, can cut a promo.
Man, I'm not shocked at all. Jelly Roll can cut a promo.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like he's a good like if you listen to any type of like interview,
he's a really good talker. He is. So I'm not shocked at all. I'm not shocked at all.
But still, like to just shoot a good promo, that's still. I was still like, oh, okay, all right, okay. That like, yeah,
It goes back to our original point, Flash. We've made this point, and we're going to continue to make this point over and over and over because every time a card is lackluster, fans run their mouth before the card, before the show. Shut up until the show happens. Shut up until the match happens. Be quiet. Because every time y'all complain about a card, the card cooks. It cooks. It always works out like that. Always works out like that.
I do got to ask you guys one thing, though, man. I do have to ask you guys one thing. By the way, just to put the plug in and let everybody know that the fix is in, we will be teaming up with the Sports for Wrestling podcast this Saturday for a live screening. So be ready for that. We will be teaming up with the best in the West. So
did I say that my daughter wanted to join the podcast? So I'll be joining.
Yeah.
So I asked her, I'm like, do you want to watch it? Do you just want to watch it with me and Dad, you and Dad? Or do you want to do the podcast with me while we watch it? And she goes, oh, I want to do the podcast. So we'll have a special guest on Saturday.
Superstar.
Yes, indeed. Quick question before we get into that pigskin. Does Cena finally return to being a babyface? And do we see AEW version of Cody?
No and no.
We're not.
I think we get a tease of a.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
I think we get the tease of the babyface Cena turn, but I think The Rock shows up. I do. I'm calling it.
I think, yeah, I'm with Flash. I think this is the biggest. This is the closest we're going to get to it now, but I don't think it fully materializes. This is going to be like they're going to reel you in like it's about to happen and then it doesn't happen. So this is going to be like the biggest tease. Not yet.
2 reasons.
No, go ahead.
1, Cody's leaving to go do a movie, from what I heard. So Cody loses, and I think they will set up. I'm sticking to my storyline. I don't think this is about Cody turning heel. I know everybody wants to see it, but he is the new face of the company. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. I am sticking with my story that Cena is going to be a slow burn to the babyface. It's going to set up Cena Rock, and Cody will come back. And they're going to set up Cody and Rock at WrestleMania. That's what they want.
I will real quick though. I will say this though. I think Cody did an interview, and it was basically what would heel Cody Rhodes look like. Whew. No kingdom for one. If he goes heel, he's not using kingdom. He's already said that. He's stopping using kingdom. The flashy entrance is gone. And that dude literally said, I'm going to try and get canceled. I'm telling y'all one time and one more time only. Y'all are not ready when that turn happens. Y'all are not ready.
I'm all for it, but we're a ways away still.
I think we're still at the very least WrestleMania 42 away at the earliest.
Yeah, the early, and I don't even think it's that.
I don't think it's going to happen then. I could see him going into next year's SummerSlam, and then they finally be like, okay, we got some meat here. Let's do it.
You know what? I found it ironic, and I think y'all brought this up. I think y'all the ones that brought this up to me. Y'all notice that this is kind of an attitude era where all the damn heels are champions? Like, what the hell's going on around here?
Yeah, it's better that way.
I mean, it's like every heel is a champion. I mean, even Trick Williams, even he's a champion. He's turned heel. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But I'm glad to see.
The only technically baby face is Tiffany Stratton, and even then, she's kind of on the cocky, arrogant side. So,
yeah,
tippy time. So, yeah, I thought it was the only one. I thought I was the only. I think y'all brought that up to me. It was like, damn, it's like all these are heels. Like, are we in the beginning of another attitude era? Like, what the hell is going on? Like,
the only face champions in all of WWE are Tiffany Stratton and Sol Ruka. That's it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is Jade ready to be champion? I don't think so.
I don't think she is, but I think she's going to win. I'll go ahead and make one prediction. I think she's going to beat Tiff.
Well, you have to set up her and Bianca. That's why.
Yeah, I think because I think Tiff's run has been good, but there is still a lot of meat on the bone, and they didn't really attack it like they should have. I think Jay's going to beat. I think Jay's going to beat Tiff.
I thought her run was actually pretty. Like her best match was against Trish.
Oh heck yeah, easily.
Like,
I mean, she's had good match. I mean, she's had a bunch of good matches. Don't get me wrong. Like she had the match with Trish. The match with Trish was her best. I mean, the match with her having the one-on-one finally with Nia, that was good. Both matches with Nia were good. What else? I mean, she's had good matches, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I just feel like it was weird. Like her trajectory. We thought she was going to be like the next big thing in the female division, like on like a real level, and it just didn't. Something missed. I don't know what it is. By the way, I've been wanting to say this. I've been saving for the podcast. This is my hot take. Well, I shouldn't say no. It's not a hot take. It's the right take. I think Rhea Ripley is booked like champion Charlotte Flair. She's just the goth version of Charlotte Flair, and she's got no depth for the character whatsoever.
That hurts my feelings.
Sorry.
Well, that's honestly why she needs to lose at SummerSlam.
Yes,
that's why she needs to lose, and not just no. And I don't mean like just she needs to take the pin.
Yeah.
She needs to take the pin. I'm gonna be honest with you. I as much as I love Rhea Ripley as a babyface,
he's a boring character.
Even if they don't turn her heel, she needs to snap at some point.
Yep.
She needs to snap.
She was a more interesting character with Dom.
Oh yeah. And even then, like even then when she was like full-fledged Judgment Day heel, she didn't really run from nothing. Nope. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you to just because you're a heel, I don't need you to run from fights. I need you just beat up everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like Rhea, I don't think she really needs to go full-blown heel. It's like I don't care if you're a babyface, I don't care if you're a heel. If you get them away, I'm going to run you over. They need to.
I think they should turn her heel. Maybe not full heel, but I think the fact that she loses and gets pinned by Io Sky again.
It needs to send her over the deep end.
Yes. Thank you. Like she needs to have some kind of like conflict with that she just can't beat. Yeah.
Like Tyson in the bike fight.
Yeah.
I just can't beat this motherfucker.
I just can't beat him.
Well,
Because I think Io should pin her. That's how this should go. Not that
I don't think Io's winning it back, but go ahead.
Only okay. Look, I like Naomi. The heel turn has been great, but her storyline isn't with those two. It's with Jade and
Bianca.
I think and Bianca.
As much as I agree with that, Naomi's picking up steam. I don't think you take it off her. You don't take it off her right now because the momentum is there. It'd be one thing if it'd be one thing if the fans wasn't really into it like that, but fans are like they're gonna mess around and turn her babyface again. Like the fans are like there.
She's the cool heel now, and that's but the thing that to further Rhea's character, you have to have Io pin her.
Okay, now I do agree. I agree with that.
That's why. It's not for the lack of what Naomi hasn't done. I think her run's actually been pretty decent, although it's been short. But just her mic work and her completely different persona has been great. I just think you have to further Rhea's character. That's what I'm saying. Naomi's story is with Bianca. It's not even centered around the title because she can literally lose that title. And then when Jade wins tomorrow night or whenever this weekend, she can insert herself into that mess right away.
Right.
Her and Bianca. So I think my prediction is Io gets the pins Rhea. That's my prediction. Because I think Bianca interferes and takes Naomi out of the match, and then Io wins clean. That's my.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a good one. And other news, the pigskin is back. The Chargers are beating the brakes off of the Detroit Lions. Yes, we know it's second string, but still, football is here. Damn it!
Yes, it is.
Football is here.
Yes, it is.
Hey, look, let's bring out the hot wings. Let's bring out the fish fries. Let's bring out them ribs. Let's bring out the brisket. Let's bring out the Boston butt. Let's bring it out. Let's bring it all out. Let's bring it out.
Yeah.
Because the pigskin is back. Are y'all ready for some football, man? I gotta know this, man.
Hell yeah, I'm ready, bro. I'm definitely I've been ready. I've been ready, and the fact that we've had an amazing offseason to build off of and go into this season as far as the NFL as a whole, I'm ready. I'm so ready. NFL, college football, I'm ready for it all. Bring it all. I'm ready for it all. I am ready for it all. I am hyped because this is like. Well, if we're going to talk about the NFL, particularly the NFC side of it, this is probably the most wide open NFC we've seen since like early 2010s. This is easily the most wide open NFC we've seen since like late 2000s, early 2010s. Like when you just absolutely had no idea who was going to win the NFC when it was basically a revolving door of teams winning that conference. Like this is the most wide open. This is the most wide open it's been. Like it's but I love to see it. I love to see it. I don't like a season to be like. I don't want it to be like 2015 to 2018 NBA when you knew it was going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. I like my stuff to be predictable, to be unpredictable. That's what I like. I mean, just you don't know who's going to do what. I'll say the only division that for me is probably a lock because of the competition in the division. Is probably the AFC. I'll say the West and the East in the AFC. Every other division is up for grabs.
I'm not gonna lie. Flash, you got anything to add before I ask my question?
It makes me happy. I thought about this last night. That the hip drop tackle thing, the roulette rule just went out the window. They never called it really, and I hope they keep it that way. I'm excited.
Oh my god!
The amount of storylines that are just in the NFC North alone will make for a great season.
Yeah.
Like I think the NFC North is the most fascinating division right now. outside of maybe the AFC West.
What about the NFC East?
No, because I think it's still the Eagles to lose. I like Washington. Don't get me wrong. I like what they've done in the offseason. But I still
they mess around to trade. They mess around to trade Terry McLaurin. You could just know.
Yeah.
You got room for him down here in Atlanta?
No, we don't. No, we don't. I love Terry, but no, we don't.
That's funny.
I love Terry McLaurin, but no. I love Terry McLaurin, but no. He can go to Buffalo.
Yeah, I said that in an earlier post. Like I said, I'm always gonna bring up Atlanta when it comes to a big time play. Would you? I have to ask y'all this question, man. I don't want to ask, but I have to because this was the storyline for the damn A. If you're a team, Christian Wilkinson is available. Christian Wilkins is available. Do you bring him? Do you bring him in? Do you bring him in the locker room? I'm just asking, considering what just happened out there in Las Vegas.
Christian, and it's crazy because Christian Wilkins is probably a top 5 defensive tackle in the league right now. That's crazy.
Dude got let go because he gave another dude a forehead kiss.
That's some Instagram shit.
I thought this was 2025. I thought we were all cool with that. Guess not.
Wouldn't it be interesting if the Giants picked him up and he's right next to his college team?
Sign him. Like have you ever heard him mic'd up?
I ain't heard.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
Look up Christian Wilkins mic'd up. It's hilarious. He's just an odd duck. Yeah, I'd bring him in. I absolutely as long. All right, I'll just say it. Is this like a Dwight Howard situation? Is he making other dudes feel uncomfortable in the locker room?
I mean, look, I'm gonna just be real.
There's
a lot of crazy shit that happened. Look, I've been an athlete before.
Just saying.
All of us have. There's been a lot of crazy shit that happens in football locker rooms, and we just talked about the Ric Flair incident earlier. How, he ran a bunch of grown men and he walked that aisle with them damn Gucci loafers on and started doing the damn doing the helicopter in front of everybody. And I never forget. Sting had said something about Ric Flair. He said, "I ain't never seen a man spend so much time with his pants down, other than Ric Flair." I never forget. Tommy Dreamer doing that plane ride tail incident. He said, "I never forget that moment because Ric Flair got a hair on him." So I
just want to go back to like where guys are insane. Did you see the 6 Feet Under podcast with Hornswoggle?
No.
No, I ain't seen it.
Hornswoggle was on Taker's podcast and talked about a thing they used to do in the locker room called Tommy Ball.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
Tommy Dreamer used to stick his balls out, and then everybody would try to throw tennis balls at his balls. And who could hit it? Go look it up. Just go look it up. So the fact that Christian Wilkins got let go for giving another dude a forehead kiss, when I've heard some WWE story like stories from locker rooms like Tommy Ball.
And it's crazy because the story.
Now I'm of the generation where Sack Tap was a game. Okay, you all play Sack Tap down there at all? Cup check.
What the fuck is that?
Cup. Like we're all standing around having a drink at a bar, something like that. So I go, cup check and hit you in the nuts.
Oh, we call it the meat check down here.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Same thing. So that was played up here. And I never understood why, because I personally don't I don't like getting hit in the nuts. It hurts. What
was Moby Dick's father's name?
What?
Moby Dick's father's name, Papa Dick. And I've got I've gotten that one a couple of times. Let me tell you, that's not pleasant. Okay, that is not pleasant.
No,
Oh my god, that is not pleasant.
We were here. This is years ago. We were at a Brewer game for a bachelor party, and we were out. This is when you could smoke in stadiums, and when I used to smoke cigarettes. And there's a group of us and we were out in the smoking section. Then all of a sudden, the guys were like, "Oh, let's play." All of a sudden, that just started. The cup check shit. And I just looked at him and said, I said, one of you tries that on me, you're gonna get it way worse than you give it. And we had a buddy named Eli who got me, just grazed me enough to like make me go like this. And I was like, all right, okay. I warned you. Now, mind you, this was like the third inning. So I waited until about the seventh inning. And there happened to be a bachelorette party in the same area. And he was chatting up a couple girls on the row behind me. And I waited. He was standing up, and I waited. I waited like a cat in the tall grass. And I waited. And he was standing up, and I turned right around. And I did not do a flick. I did a full-on right straight as hard as I could.
Oh, you did Johnny Cage.
That dude never played sack tap with anybody after that again, and nobody ever played sack tap with me ever again.
Boy, hey, you know what? You know what that reminds me of?
I made that dude cry in front of that bachelorette party. I was like, don't hit my nut.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the movie. What movie was it? I think it was Hot Shots Part 2 with Charlie Sheen, where he's fighting and he needs to do so hard they come up and he spits them out.
You know what? My thing is, I never forget when I was in the Army. Everybody do some crazy shit. I never forget my favorite thing when I was back in shape, when I was in great shape. I used to love to go out in my spandex shorts on, and I used to, and the girls used to love this shit. Because, I had a flat stomach back then. So I used to go on there, hop on the damn bleachers and start saying, I'm a freak. I can freak it like you want. You know that song, PR.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Not the silk song. Oh, my God.
The images in my head right now.
I would just go the craziest shit. And girls would, like I said, it's to get a reaction. Girls would just go crazy. She was like, what the hell you doing? What are you doing up there?
Well, hold on, no. The silk, was it the silk song or the Jodeci song?
No, you remember that song? If you like it in the morning, I can freak.
Oh like God, that one. Oh man, no, that one. Oh my God.
I got my ass up on that damn. No, I hopped up on the damn one of the damn bleachers or whatever. I ain't had them but my spandex pants on and the pair of Jordans on. And I started dancing. I didn't like it in the morning. Girls was laughing. They was going crazy. But that shit was funny. This shit was funny to me. A lot of dudes didn't like that. One girl.
Yeah, because they girls were probably looking at you. Probably what it was.
One girl actually, taught Amazon. I forget her name. She actually tipped me $5. That was the funniest shit about it. I said, "Shit, I might just need
Wow.
But I think we should definitely look into bringing them in here. Shit. If you walk on the wild side, Atlanta just the place to get you there. It's just gonna be real.
I think from a schematic fit perspective, Christian Wilkins in Atlanta actually makes perfect sense if they wanted to do it. See, I don't think they're going to do it because I think Atlanta's happy with the state of their defensive line. But I think if they wanted to get a little greedy, bring in somebody like Christian Wilkins, who's like top 5, top 6 conversation as far as the defensive tackle position, I would entertain it if nothing else if I'm Atlanta. But there's about a Christian Wilkins. I'd say at least a good 7-8 teams could use a Christian Wilkins right now.
Why wouldn't you want it if you Atlanta or whoever? Depth at defensive line is
the only reason why you don't bring him in is because you already have enough depth. But I feel like with him is one of those where it's like, you know what? Come on. I don't care. Just come on. Come on, we already got a system in place. We'll make it work. Come on in.
Yeah, plus you're still in training camp. This is not the regular season. I think one team that could really use them right now is the Washington Commanders. I think they could really use them right now to go along with Deron Payne. I don't think Jonathan Allen is coming back at this point. Atlanta, another team that I really think can use them is Buffalo. Buffalo can definitely use them. I mean, there's a lot
Him
of
next to Ed Oliver would be nasty.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of teams out there that can I mean, the Chicago Bears. I think that they could use him at this point. I mean,
dude, why? If you're Cincinnati, I know Cincinnati's gotten a lot of flack right now, but you still need all the defensive help you can get.
Yeah, him, Shamar Moore, Shamar Stewart, and Trey Hendricks. Yeah,
dude. If you bring him in with you have a defensive line now. If you bring him in knowing you got Stewart to sign, knowing you got Hendrickson to report to camp, you bring in Christian Wilkins, all of a sudden you have a defensive line.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and then you got some pass rusher that can
exactly. You got head busters on that front four.
Yeah, I think Christian Wilkins. Like I said, everybody has that dude that's a little bit off the wall. Like I said, I used to get up on that and wear them damn spandex. Mind you, they would double line. I would say, so when they slip out. But yeah, I used to wear them damn spandex shorts and get on top of them damn bleachers and get the dash around them damn women. I'm like, shit, maybe I need to think about this a little bit more. Maybe I need to take this damn uniform off and put another one on. Maybe I need to become the next what's that dude that Dr. Dre used to rap with before NWA the World Class, DJ Lonzo. They used to what do y'all think about the Scary Terry situation, man?
Washington, pay this man and stop playing. Pay this man. Stop playing. They worried because he turned 30 this year. Man, pay this man. This man has basically rolled through y'all through so many sorry quarterbacks, and you finally get a diamond in Jaden Daniels, and now you want to think, man, pay this man. It shouldn't be no second thoughts.
I don't. Now look, I'm Mr. But he's been your star for and toiling away with no quarterback essentially for a while.
Hey, putting 1,000 yards with scabs.
Yeah, you got. If you're worried it's 30, you just give him a 3-year deal and give him a shit ton of money for crying out loud. Like, unless they know something we don't. I don't. The last thing you do is you don't want to stunt your bad quarterback's growth. Sorry, your star quarterback's growth. Oh my God, I can't talk all of a sudden. Like, you can't do that. So I don't know what's going on there. I didn't know what was going on in Cincinnati. I still don't understand. I don't understand a lot of this stuff right now. I don't. But then again, this goes to, are you a good organization? It's the same culprits over and over again usually.
Well, Cincinnati got lucky in the Shamar Stewart situation because he agreed to the language. Because basically what it was just like not giving him like injury guarantees is pretty much what it boiled down to. He wasn't getting injury guarantees, and the separation was they hadn't done that with any of their other first round picks. So he was basically being the precedent in that, but he agreed to the language. He agreed to the language, and I don't know. They gave him $500,000 more of his signing bonus up front, but still, I don't know why you would agree to that.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna just be real. If you ain't out here fucking up, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
True, but it's like I said, they haven't done that with any of their other first round picks. So why are you starting with him?
Oh, wait, now was this more about injury or was this like personal conduct shit? Because I read personal conduct stuff.
I want to say it was a combination, but I think the injury guarantee had something to do with it too.
Because
it was something they've never done before.
like the personal contact stuff. If it was just that, Champ's got a point, and that's kind of how I felt too. Like, well, just don't do anything stupid.
Don't be out here fucking up. The thing is, I don't think these young men realize this. I'm gonna just be real. You give me, especially you give me in 100 when I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I did not go anywhere where I felt like if I got a bad feeling in my damn toe that night, I did not go outside. I'm just being real. I'm that damn scary. I'm just being real. So imagine if you put millions of dollars in my hand. If you ain't fucking up, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Well, the thing that I think that bothers something, I think the language originally for that stuff was pretty vague. Yeah. And so I think that was the issue. I hope his agent got it changed where it wasn't so vague, because you don't want something so vague that the team can just like, what's up, Maria? Just
what's good?
What's good?
So I'm still surprised that he did agree to the language. I don't know. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. These guys have insurance, like in insurance on themselves. I don't know. It's just weird. There's personal conduct. Yeah, Champ's right. Just don't do anything stupid. Like this team, regardless of whether you think the Bengals are a good organization or not, they are investing millions of dollars into you. You are an investment. Like, I know that makes you sound. That sounds very cold. Like you're just a number, but you're still like they're investing money into you.
I mean, it really don't. I mean, when companies bring you in to give you a damn job and they give you a laptop, they give you a cell phone, I've lived through it. I've been in companies where when you come in, look, they give you a laptop, they give you a phone, you have a company car where you have to go around, they give you a gas card that you have to account for with. Hell, that's a hell of a lot of money being invested in you. So you're not wrong when you say that. I just think that people are a little bit too sensitive nowadays in order to, understand that. They do that in real life jobs. You're being invested in.
Well, there have been times when I've wanted to make certain TikToks, and I'm like, I don't know if I should, just because, my job. I can't, I ain't
that's like I'm out of politics. Hell no, I'm not going to do that.
My job for saying something that somebody may not like or whatever. I mean, I'll do that anyways, but like, it depends on the topic. Sometimes I'm like, all right, I really feel strong with it. And I go, is it worth worth it in the moment? And then most of the time it's not. But yeah, like I that's just the reality of where we live in right now. And if I think if I didn't have my daughter, I'd probably feel a little differently. But I don't know what's going on in what you got to pay him. I don't get. I think part of this is backlash to the Deshaun Watson contract. I think this is organizations like trying to regain control of the for lack of a better term, narrative.
Well, hell, there's a whole damn collusion case about this. I just ain't had a chance to read through it as of yet. And I'm gonna get you BRF because we did have a chance to get Lamar.
Bro, I don't care. No. Chance or not, no. The right move was not to get him. No.
Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, we had a chance to get him, but the thing was there was a lot of collusion within, among the owners about guaranteed contracts. And I'm like, the only thing they would have cost was a first round pick. Hell, I'm like, you should have brought him in.
It wasn't. Because he was. I want to know because the tag he got would have been a lot more than the first round draft pick, and you had to give him that money. It would have been multiple.
Don't worry about it. It's not like he can win a Super Bowl anyway, so it's not like you guys would have been better off.
I mean, with the shit we just went through.
Now, if he came down here and he won one, I wouldn't want to hear you say that.
Well, then I wouldn't be saying that. I'd be like, well, all right, he won one.
But the thing is, that's hypothetical. I mean, I hate to say it, but just because he didn't win one up there, you don't know how they would have built the team down here. So I don't know. And kind of hindsight 2020 now because he ain't won one yet. We don't know. But still, I stand by no. No, we shouldn't have signed him. I stand by it. I may be crazy. I don't care. I stand by it.
Yeah, that would have set the city on damn fire. Vic 2.0 coming to town. That would have been a whole nother ball game if you really want me to be honest.
Now,
Can a MVP season forever silence everyone on Jalen Hurts? Can that be the ultimate STFU?
I'm going to bring this full circle. We've kind of touched on this before, and this is kind of the same thing, but we have selectiveness when it comes to certain athletes. And this has nothing to do with forgiveness, but we view certain athletes a certain way. And I even think if he wins an MVP, I don't think people will view him any differently.
I kind of agree with that.
I just don't. I think there are guys that a narrative is created about them, and it's one of those impossible ones to shake. And I think this is one of those things. As long as that team is loaded, that narrative will never change.
I think the only way he could shut somebody up winning an MVP, and I hate to do this because I don't wish it on nobody, somebody got to get hurt. And I don't want to bring that type of juju on anybody, but like a Saquon Barkley or like a AJ Brown, somebody would. I'm just saying
that team has to get again as long as that team is loaded.
That team, yeah, basically that team has to get hit with the injury. That team has to get hit with the injury bug. Yeah. And Jalen Hurts basically has to tote that team on his back. I think that is the only way he can silence people if he wins an MVP. Because if he goes out and he has the best season of his career, look at who he's on. Look at everybody he's got on the team. He's got a top 5 wide receiver in AJ Brown. He's got a top 5 receiver core in him and Devontae Smith. He's got a top 10 tight end in Dallas Goedert. He's got the best running back in the league in Saquon Barkley. He's got arguably the best offensive line in football. He's got a top 5 defense.
Yeah, I don't think it'll change. I really don't. I think BRF's right. I don't think AJ Brown is. I think it would have to be Saquon.
I think it would have to be. Yeah, it would. It would have to be Saquon. It would have to be Saquon.
It would have to be Saquon. It's like not that Brady ever had this narrative really, but one of the biggest things about him winning that. And I sorry to bring up this Super Bowl.
Don't bring up 51. Go ahead. We know.
Sorry. So one of the things about that is that he did that without Gronk. By the way, like that Super Bowl, Gronk was hurt. And that even furthered his legacy as who he is. So to that ilk, that's what would have to happen to Hurts but it would have to happen to Barkley. Like the best player would have to get hurt. So I mean, it's sad too because I don't view him that way. But I think a lot of people do. People just we love creating narratives around celebrities and athletes, and I don't and once it's there, we typically don't change it. It's hard to.
And that's the thing that's one of the big thing that always gets on my nerves when people pick and choose the loaded team narrative, forgetting the fact that some of the greatest teams in NFL history were loaded on both sides of the ball. That's quarterback, running back, offensive line, wide receivers, defense. I feel like, some of the best teams in NFL history were at the very least top 10 on both sides of the ball. Yeah, and you had Pro Bowl to All Pro stars on just about every level, and it's like, and I look, the Philadelphia Eagles, for one, Howie Roseman is the best executive in football. Kudos to that man and his scouting team for going out there and finding these pieces and bringing them in together, because it's one of those champ, you and I, we know this firsthand. What's one of the biggest criticisms as far as Matt Ryan is concerned? Yeah, he was great, but look at all the wide receivers he's had. Like, bro, what do you want your front office to do? Do you want them to go out and just bring in scabs and be like, "Hey, go do it with Tom and Harry off the street"?
Again, it's so funny because look at my guy Aaron Rodgers. For years, it was he doesn't have a first round pick or doesn't have a first round pick for a wide receiver. It's so weird how we, again, spin a narrative around an athlete or a celebrity. It's literally the complete opposite of what you just said.
Do you know how many Pro Bowlers? My bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Do you know how many Pro Bowlers that the Steelers averaged in the 70s per year?
At least 5.
Like 7.
No, they averaged 5 All Pros. At
least, yeah. I thought it was at least 5.
5 All Pros. And I'm looking at it. In 1976, in 75, and 70, I'm going up.
Yeah, but Pro Bowlers, though, it was like, what, 7 to 9 every year?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, no, 2 years in a row, they averaged 11 Pro Bowlers.
Jesus Christ.
They averaged 11 Pro Bowlers.
But that's why Bradshaw doesn't get the credit that he should get.
Well, the thing is this, and I talk to a lot of old heads in my family, and I look at the game of football a lot. People said that he wasn't even the best quarterback on that team. It was Joe Gilliam. But, Joe got addicted to that nose candy and, yeah. So that's and Bradshaw has even said it in an interview. He said he defeated himself because he had every chance he could to start over. In fact, in the 74 season when they won the first Super Bowl, Joe Gilliam was the starter to start the first couple of games. And they beat the hell out of the Baltimore Colts. And when you talk about a quick release, go back and look at how his release was. He never could. Every time you can never pause the film and you get a clear view of his hand, it was always a blur. That's how quick his release was. Even when you pause the tape, it was always a blur. So a lot of people were used to say that, hell, Joe Gilliam was the best one on that team, but he got caught up in that life. So, a lot of people, a lot of old heads say, well, Joe Gilliam was better than the blonde bomber. That's what they used to call Derek Bradshaw, by the way. It was Jefferson Street Joe, and then you had the blonde bomber. So, yeah. So there was a lot of speculation about that because Jefferson Street Joe wasn't no joke. I'm just going to be real. But at the same time, he kind of, God rest his soul, even Bradshaw said, the main reason why I ended up not being the starter is because Joe Gilliam played himself out of the starting position. So there was a lot of speculation about that. And things were kind of different back then, and we'll leave it at that. But next question, can the Eagles repeat?
Yes.
I think they should be they should be the favorites. So yeah, I definitely think I mean, if anything, they scarily got a little better. Particularly in the draft, getting a guy like Jihad Campbell to add to that linebacker core. You lost Darius Slay, but I mean, you still got Cooper DeJean and you still got Quinyon Mitchell, who's already one of the better cornerback tandems in the league. So, the Eagles should be the favorites.
I really believe that they should be. Plus, our guy Jordan Davis lost 20 pounds.
Oh God. Way to make that defense even scarier.
Yeah, our guy Jordan Davis, first round pick, one of the best defensive players in Georgia history, lost 20 pounds. So that is yeah. If you're a Georgia Bulldog avid fan like myself, you know how big he was in college?
He was humongous.
That guy was humongous. What's so funny about
I think his biggest playing weight was what, 350?
The 350. Remember, he started over Jalen Carter, and Jalen Carter's a better pro. we need to start having some discussions about how University of Georgia's defensive tackle you. But we ain't gonna.
You can about make a case. You can about make a case that defensive line you.
Yeah, when you think about Richard Seymour, just to name a few, yeah.
Justin Houston. Justin Houston. Look, hey, people don't want to talk about him. Trayvon Walker done turned into a pretty good guy doing defensive end.
Yeah, probably. Didn't he play for the Jags, right?
He was the number 1 overall pick because he came out the same year Aiden Hutchinson. He was the number 1 overall pick over Aiden Hutchinson, and we know how good Aiden Hutchinson is. But Trayvon Walker, he turned into a bit of a beast himself.
Yes, indeed. So we need to start having some conversations about that during the season. Flash, what do you think?
Yeah, I still think they're the best team in the league. Like I don't think it's even close right now.
No, it's not. No,
I think teams are creeping, but like I think the Eagles are looking behind them, going like, whatever. Like they know how to win now.
Yeah. On a neutral. I mean, they've already shown they can beat the Chiefs on the neutral field, but on the neutral field, Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Lions, line them up. Eagles beat them all like now.
There are teams that are bad matchups for them. Like I think the Rams are a bad matchup, but still head to head, I'm still picking the Eagles.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like I think Cincinnati would give Philadelphia a lot of problems just because of the matchup, but I still think, I don't think that they're a better team.
No.
I just think there's certain matchups that they might struggle with, but they know how to win now as an organization. And Hurts has gotten over it. Now the pressure's off. So I'm curious. That's the only thing that can stop this Eagles team right now, in my opinion, is how do you come back from, it's one of the hardest things to do is repeat. So how do you come back now that you've won one? Is the hunger still there? Not to sound cheesy and shit, but that's what it is.
Yeah, but that's the right approach though.
It just is what it is. It's why like what the guy like what Brady did over 20 some years is insane to have that. He even said it himself. He was a psychopath. So like, are you as an organization, a quarterback, coach, and everybody else? Are you now that you got the brass ring? Do you want to go for the other one? So there's no reason why. I don't think anybody got substantially better to catch up to them, and they didn't get substantially worse. So yeah, I think they can.
But that answers my next question: who has the best chance to dethrone them as division champs?
Look, Washington.
It's Washington.
I think the better question is who has the chance to. The better question is who has a chance to dethrone them as a conference champs.
Yeah, that's the better question because that NFC is, that NFC is going to be fun.
I think to me the worst matchup in the NFC for them, besides the Rams, is Green Bay on their best day.
If Jordan Love doesn't throw you out of a damn game,
that's my point.
Doesn't throw you out of a damn game.
Green Bay on that, in my opinion, and this isn't me being a homer. In my opinion, Green Bay on their best day is the only like talent depth. They don't have the superstars that Philly does, but in my opinion, Green Bay's overall depth, and on their best day, they would probably give the Eagles the worst fits on their best day. Now that's the point. Does Jordan Love, does he go back to Jordan Love from not this past season, but the end of this prior season to that? Is the possible MVP? Basically this way, if we get MVP candidate Jordan Love, they are probably the second best team in the NFC. If we get MVP Jordan Love. If we get Brett Favre light Jordan Love, they're a little over middle. They're like a little above 500 team. Yeah. But you got to have MVP Jordan Love. You got MVP Jordan Love, you have a Super Bowl contender. Period.
I still think even though there were a lot of changes made, the talent is still there. Second best team in the NFC, I still think, is Detroit. We just need to see how they're going to be with. Look, I get it. Ben Johnson's not there anymore. I get it. But talent wise, I still think. I mean, we have to see it. But I think on paper, it's still Detroit.
I know. I don't. I think they're still going to be really good.
Yeah, because for me, it's about it's gonna because ultimately it's gonna come down to, all right, Aiden Hutchinson's gonna come back this year. Can he hold up? And what that offense is going to look like without Ben Johnson having a new voice over those players on the offensive side of the ball is going to be like a big factor as far as what that's going to come down to. But they still have that talent there, and if that talent there can take heed to the new voices and don't miss a beat, and then if they just give you adequate defense, Detroit's the second best team in the NFC.
I hate to bring this up. This is in our division, BRF. Can you see Baker Mayfield winning the MVP?
He's one of my dark horse candidates. Is he a
dark horse? Sure. Will he win it? No.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, Baker Mayfield winning it. It would be one of those years like where all of the top candidates have like a down year.
No, like you would have to have
you would have to have like a. Good Lord, you'd have to have like a.
Like they go 14-3.
Yeah, and you throw for like 4,500 and like 40 touchdowns and single digit interceptions. Like you have to you have to be the reason the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are like a top 3 NFC seed.
Yeah, like they'd have to get the first seed and like because here's how it would play out if he won it. You already have Lamar Jackson fatigue. Josh Allen got his. Everybody, the talk around Mahomes is everybody said he was like top 3-4 all time, and now it's like, well, is he really top 12? And I'm just like, whatever. People like to talk, but I think so. I think if they went 13-4. And BRS right throws for 4,540 touchdowns, and they're the number 1 seed. Then yes, sure, fine. Then yes, he could win it. And Josh Allen has another Josh Allen a year, but Buffalo, they win the division, but they're like the 3 seed. Then yeah, I could see it. But in a league with Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels,
Saquon Barkley,
like Joe Burrow.
Yeah, they're like there are too many names. And then from the wide receiver spot, I mean, you have to put Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase in there from the wide receiver spot. They're just too many names. They're too many names.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And don't get me wrong, I love Baker Mayfield. I do. I have maintained the moment, not hindsight 2020, the moment that Cleveland traded him, I thought it was one of the stupidest things I'd ever seen an organization do. I said it then, and then they go around and turn and give that boob a fully guaranteed gazillion dollars. That was just still one of the stupidest moves I've ever seen an organization do.
That is a bullet as a Falcons fan. I can happily say I'm glad we did not eat.
Yeah.
Because he was going to Atlanta. Cleveland came in 11th hour. We giving you $230 million guaranteed. He was going to Atlanta.
Yep.
Everything was agreed. Cleveland gave him $230 million guaranteed. That's the only reason he went to Cleveland.
Yeah. You guys dodged a bullet. You guys dodged a dirty massage.
A few dirty massages.
Yeah. Like that's I said it right away. I was like that was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever seen an organization make. So would I love to see it? Yes, I would. I think that would be such a to do what a story though if he did win it. Can you imagine the story that would be what it would be? He goes to Cleveland. He has one off year. He almost beats Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, and they ceremoniously let him go because Cleveland wanted to be stupid.
An adult in the room.
Yeah, another adult in the room because reasons, and then he kind of goes to Carolina and he plays okay, but then he goes to the Rams and looks really good, and then what?
Got coaching,
and then he has to go to a situation where he follows the greatest of all time, and then he wins an MVP.
Bro, this would be like one of the stories of the decade.
What a story. That would be awesome. Because to follow up the GOAT, and we're not talking about just like, and I know I'm a Tom Brady, so I miss that boy. It's here. Like one of the GOAT of all GOATs, to follow him up and to win an MVP, and then on top of all the stuff that like happened prior, oh man, that would be awesome. That'd be cool.
Real quick. Who is your rookie sleeper this year? I'm going to go first. Omarion Hampton. Look for him to have a big year this year.
Rookie sleeper. Let's see. I'm going to go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay on. I'm gonna stay on the offensive side of the ball. Rookie sleeper. I might be a little crazy for saying this, but I like his position in the offense. I'm going to Chicago and I'm looking at Luther Burden III. I like his position there being the number three, and not having to necessarily like have to be like the guy immediately, but being in an offense with like Ben Johnson calling those plays, knowing that they are going to open stuff up early and often. I like Luther Burden III as my sleeper.
Okay. Lash.
What do we mean by sleeper?
Like, who do you think is going to break out?
Like, I guess not one of the, because you have like, I guess if you want to say you have like the big names, like I'll guess guys outside of the top half of the first round, I would guess.
Yeah. I'll say I think Pierce is going to have a good season.
Pierce is my, oh gosh, James Pierce is like, I'm not going to say early defensive rookie of the year favorite, but he is like turning a lot of heads. He's turning a lot of heads because he's already come there starting fights, like no nonsense, like, and people were calling the Falcons crazy for going back in the first round and trading them, and I'm trading back in the first round for him. I'm like, this is why they did it. He brings nastiness that defense has not had really since John Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to give two. One's an oddball. He's technically not a rookie, but sort of is. I think JJ McCarthy's going to have a great year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I do. I said it. I wanted the Patriots to draft him. I wanted him so bad for that team. He played well. I know it's only preseason, and I know there's a little bit of rumblings. Like the coach came out and said, like, "Oh well, he's not going to be perfect." Right? I think he's going to be really good. And then I think Jaden Blue in Dallas.
Yeah, the running back
out of Texas. I think he's going to be I think that's a perfect spot for him. And I just think Dallas needs they have something there. It's not going to turn into a Super Bowl or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, he's my sleeper to have, like, where I think he's like the third best back in the whole draft. Like that kind of potential. Because I think it's going to be Aiden or whatever. Well, what's his face in Las Vegas?
You got Ashton Genty.
Yeah, and then my personal favorite, which I just wish he wasn't on the
Cam Scatterbo.
Scatterbo is my boy. I haven't said that before the draft. I've said it on this show multiple times. Skibbity boo bop. That dude is going to have that dude's going to have an awesome season. I love that boy. That dude is going to be great.
Scat Pack, what he called himself, Scat Pack.
Yes, sir.
All right. Who has a sophomore boom and who has a sophomore slump? I'm going to go first. I don't think that Lat McConkey has as good a year as he did last year.
Well, who's your sophomore boom?
Brock Bowers. I think he has an even better year.
He does better than last year?
Yeah, he does even better than last year.
Wow. I mean, he's capable of doing it, definitely. I might as well continue to beat the drum for him because I've been beating the drum for him since he got drafted. It's Michael Penix is the boom. Michael Penix is the boom. Michael Penix Jr. is the boom. I think knowing he's the guy and the camaraderie he's already building with Drake and especially with Kyle Pitts. Comeback player of the year alert. Watch out for Kyle Pitts. I'm just saying, look out. Cause he looked motivated. And that's what I like to see. Yeah, Michael Penix Jr. is my boom. My slump. I don't. If I have to pick one for my slump, gosh, should I say it? Because I don't trust the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh gosh, I don't want to do it. Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas Jr. I don't trust the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence to keep that boy on the pedestal he deserves to be on. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. It's not a slump for his own doing. It's the organization. It's the organization he's on.
Yeah, I don't blame you. As we wait on Flash to come back and rejoin us at this point, Shamar Stewart has signed. Trey Hendricks has reported to camp. Can the Bengals make another run like they did in 2021?
They have the off. I mean, we know about the offense. The offense is one of the best of football. I mean, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Chase Brown emerged as RB1 there. It all boils down to that defensive line and can they get pass rush? If Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson can really anchor that defensive line and improve a pass rush that like if Shamar Stewart could come in and take pressure off of Trey Hendrickson being the only real pass rusher they have, I absolutely think the Bengals can make a run because the Bengals are like one of those teams that if they give you defense from 13 to 16 with that offense, that's a scary team because defense from 13 to 16, if nothing else, they're creating turnovers and they're giving that offense the ball back. So if decent defense with that offense, the Bengals can be scary. It's got to be on that defensive line to create havoc, to create havoc and create pressure and get pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah. As we wait on Flash to rejoin us once again, can we see the Rams dethroning the Eagles?
Yeah, I think what Flash was saying, the LA Rams are like one of the worst. Like if the Eagles were to see them in like a divisional round, like again, they're one of the worst matchups because they're balanced on both sides of the ball. Like that defense, the strides they made in the second half of the second half of the season to basically become what they are, which is one of the better units in football. Jared Verse, Braden Fisk. I mean, just man, they just every being a they know how to rush the passer. They know how to create matchup problems from the defensive side of the ball with their DBs. Their DBs are awesome blitzers. Their DBs can cover. Their linebackers don't miss a lot of tackles. Their linebackers are good in coverage. And they have a solid defense, and I feel like that's one of the biggest things that you have to have in order to be able to dethrone the Eagles is when your defense is on the field. You have to get them all. You have to get the Eagles off the field, whether it's a 3 and out or you can get if they have a good possession, but you can get them off the field and force a punch. You have to keep that offense on the field because I think the Philadelphia Eagles at this point in time I think are the scariest offense in football because of all the angles they can hit you from, and being able to get them off the field is very important and keeping them off the field. So the Rams, I think, are definitely they are probably one of the teams in the NFC in the playoffs. If the Eagles saw them in the playoffs, they would sweat. They would sweat a lot. There's probably like a handful of teams the Eagles would not want to see in their bracket come playoff time in the NFC. And I think the LA Rams are definitely one of them. I think ultimately in a big game situation, I think the Eagles are still more talented. But say if you give the Rams say the Eagles have a bit of a down year and the Rams get a home game against them, the Rams can absolutely beat them.
Look, I think that the Rams have a chance, and as long as Sean McVay is the coach, they have a chance to win the Super Bowl. They have a chance to win the Super Bowl as long as, and they have a team. They got off to a slow start last week. I believe with Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua there, it's going to open up a lot of things for this offense at this point.
Devontae Adams should have like a Cheshire Cat grin, knowing he's about to have Matthew Stafford throwing in the football.
Yeah, Georgia. Is Matthew Stafford the best quarterback of all time in Georgia?
Best quarterback of all time?
Yeah, in Georgia that ever came from Georgia.
Yes, from a talent. I think yes, from a talent perspective. You got to look at him. You look at David Green. You look at Fran Tarkenton. Quincy Carter's in the discussion. I mean, you have to put. I mean, Stetson Bennett won you 2 chips. Stetson Bennett has to be in the conversation too. But I think from an all-around talent perspective, I think Matthew Stafford's the most. I'll say this: I think he's the most talented quarterback to ever come out of the University of Georgia.
There's been a lot of speculation about him being in the Hall of Fame. Matthew Stafford does a second Super Bowl. I know with one Super Bowl that you could almost stamp your ticket to the Hall of Fame with one. With 2, do you think it's just a foregone conclusion that he gets there?
2 is a foregone conclusion. I think the only thing Matthew Stafford's missing is an MVP trophy. That's the only thing he's missing. Yeah. But he's put up such really good stats and numbers in his career, and I think a lot of it. I think a lot that's going to add to the weight of him is how he performed in Detroit with some of those teams, and was still able to perform the way he did at a high level, and then going to LA and then basically like, oh, you couldn't win one with Jared Goff. Hey, I'll get you one, and he gets him one. I think the only thing he's missing is an MVP trophy, but I think a second championship should put him in the Hall of Fame.
Does Jared Goff step his ticket to the Hall of Fame or insert the conversations that he's able to win a Super Bowl?
I wouldn't go Hall of Fame, but I think if he wins a chip, I think you can start having certain conversations with him depending on how he plays. I don't think Jared Goff's a Hall of Famer with a championship, but I think you can start having better conversations with Jared Goff Like I don't. He's one of those he's an enigma for me because he's really good, but he's like he has some moments in games and big games where he's like, yeah. Sometimes he shows out, and then sometimes it's like, ugh. So it's like, yeah. If he wins a championship, you can have like certain conversations with him. But I'm not. I won't say Hall of Fame with Jared Goff yet because he hasn't. He's like, I don't look at Jared Goff as elite, like the way like in some years, the way Matthew Stafford has been elite in certain years. So,
yeah. Selma Hayes or Janet Jackson?
Wait, who?
What?
Selma Hayes. The lady who played in Dusty
Selma
Dawn.
Hayek or Janet Jackson?
Janet Jackson.
Selma Hayek.
How dare you, champ?
Selma Hayek.
Ooh.
Prime Janet.
Prime Janet Jackson. Six-pack Janet.
Ooh.
But it's still Selma Hayek. Selma Hayek still looks good. That's Selma
Ooh. They showed a video. They showed a video of Salma Hayek. She did the Sports Illustrated Mexico edition. Jesus Christ, this woman's like 56, bro.
I'll put it this way. Quentin Tarantino made a movie just so he could lick alcohol off her feet. So
from Dusk Till Dawn, he wrote himself into that. He wrote himself into that scene,
and then put himself into that scene.
Talk about a power move.
What? What? That's along the lines. That's Jeff Jarrett TNA stuff right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Jarrett was ahead of TNA at a certain point. Yeah.
Ooh, boy, that's Jeff Jarrett TNA stuff right there. That kind of power move.
Who's your rookie? Flash, now that you've rejoined us, who is your sophomore boom and who gets the sophomore slump?
I think Jaden Daniels has a sophomore slump.
Okay, that's fair.
Who's your boom? Who's your boom?
Boy, that's a tough one.
That's a toughie.
That's a real tough one. Caleb Williams. I know that's.
I can see that.
I know that's a real easy pick. I feel like that's a cop out by me, but
I mean, if he doesn't have a big year this year, then they're gonna put a jury out on him. You can rest assured, and that's the reason why I'm hoping that you're right. Because if he doesn't have a big year this year with everything they went and got him, and they brought in Ben Johnson as the coach, there's going to be a lot of questions about, hey, are you really the guy? Especially how fast of a start that Jaden Daniels got off to.
Sure is.
If he doesn't have, and not just that, if he doesn't have a big year, we're going to look at the Chicago Bears organization. We're going to be like, bro, are y'all ever going to find one? Are you ever going to find one?
Other than Jim McMahon?
Exactly. And his claim to fame is being the quarterback of the 85 squad.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, you weren't necessarily like an outstanding player. You just so happened to be the quarterback, and you just practiced against arguably the greatest defense in the history of the NFL. And you also had one, and you also had one of the greatest running backs of all time behind you as well.
In fairness, he did make the Pro Bowl that year as well. So back then, the Pro Bowl meant
true. That is true. He did.
And plus, he didn't let them run Walter Payton to death. You know, he was their offensive coordinator. So as far as, you know, the offensive coordinator on the field, yeah, that was Jim McMahon. But on another note, yeah, you got a point though, because it's just like, damn, y'all ain't got a quarterback yet. They can throw for four.
I'm saying, like you, not even that, just a stable quarterback who can last longer than 3 to 5 years. Just somebody stable, somebody you can call a franchise quarterback, because they still have the stench of drafting Mitchell Trubisky instead of Patrick Mahomes.
My homeboy.
I'm just saying.
My homeboy. All right, Flash, your turn still. Shamar Stewart is signed. Trey Hendrickson has reported to camp. Can the Bengals make another run like they did in 2021?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will argue that Joe Burrow was the best quarterback in the league last year.
You can make that argument.
And I particularly don't think it's very close, actually. We argue Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, but I think Joe Burrow was the best quarterback. By far.
Oh, I stated. I think me and I think it was PSPs. Like me and Champ kind of had like a disagreement on it. I said, Cincinnati Bengals make the playoffs, Joe Burrow wins MVP. Dude had like 4,900 yards passing, and like the numbers were like the numbers warranted the award if they made the playoff.
I'm still gonna roll with my guy Lamar, because that season that he had to throw for 4,900, that was amazing. And the only reason why he didn't win it is because Josh Allen was literally carrying that team. That was one of the best carry jobs you're ever going to see, because he didn't have the number one receiver. James Cook was good, but they still haven't unleashed him yet like I wanted. I can't wait till Sean McDermott unleashes James Cook. When they unleash him and give him the ball 300 times a year rather than – because I don't like Josh Allen running, to be honest with you, because I don't like the way they use it. Every time he runs, I cringe, because I think that, oh my God, is this going to be the hit? Because it's not very pretty. He's a very much of a pounder. And every time he runs that ball, I cringe, because it's like, I hope this is not the hit. Because if he go out, they're messed up 3 ways from Sunday. Just going to be real. At least in Baltimore, if Lamar misses half the season, you can at least hand that ball off to Derrick Henry, at least for now, and he can carry you to an AFC championship. He's done it before. You have a running back that can give you a carry job. He's carried it to you to the AFC championship before. But Ryan Tannehill is their quarterback. But Josh Allen goes out, they are in for some trouble, and they better hope that it's not a serious injury. But yeah, I cringe. But that year is one of the best years that never won an MVP. 4,000 and then 900 yards rushing. That's something that I don't think can ever be topped as far as statistical years. So stats, yeah, but the carry job that Josh Allen did that year, first year without your number one receiver, yeah, no Stephon Diggs, you ain't got to force nothing. Yeah, that's crazy. Can you see the Rams dethroning the Eagles? Last question, Flash Man.
No, I think if any team does it, it's going to be Green Bay.
Okay. Awesome.
I think the Rams. Okay, let me rephrase it. It's going to be Green Bay or the Rams. One of the two. I think those are the top 3 teams in the league. NFC, sorry.
All right, dude. Anything else you guys would like to add before we go off the air?
Hold on. Okay, I don't know how the game went. I have a quick baseball update. Okay. So, well, for starters, I did like a video like very shortly before the UGSP, as I like to call this lovely setting we sitting on. I did like a little comedy video. The MLB trade deadline was freaking bonkers. Pre-trade deadline and today itself was like nuts. I mean, you had everything. Let's see. Mason Miller got traded today. Carlos Correa went back to Houston. Who else? Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano was traded from Baltimore. Like, Mason Miller, the really good athletics closer, he's with San Diego now. The Yankees made a heap of bullpen moves. They have they got who did they get? Oh gosh, they got David Bednar from the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, just loads of moves. But yeah, if y'all get a chance, read up on the trade deadline to fully understand how many moves were made today. This was one of the craziest trade deadlines I've seen in ages. I don't know how the game went though, but the Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds played today. I don't know how the game ended.
We beat them 12-11. You best believe I was watching that. We beat their ass 12-11.
Good, because the reason why I am mentioning this, because that game was 3-3 going into the 8th inning. It was 11-3 Braves going into the bottom of the 8th. It was 11-11 going into the top of the 9th. Just craziness. Craziness.
I just want to give out to shout out to my Milwaukee Brewers, by the way. We're just speaking of baseball. Best team in the league right now?
In the national, best team in the National League. I'm going to lean Mets slightly. Okay. But the Brewers, if I'm the Mets, the way the Brewers are playing would absolutely scare me. The way the Brewers are playing. They are playing hella ball. And don't get me wrong, as long as the Dodgers are there, you might not want to hear it, but as long as the Dodgers are there, they're going to be around. But I think best team in the National League right now, I slightly lean Mets. Because I like what they did too for their bullpen. Their bullpen is gonna be nasty too.
Yeah.
Man, a hell of a show, man. Football is back. I want to say this, man. I'm so happy that football is back, man. Look, I will get together with the panel and we will decide whether we want to do this next Thursday when the next football game comes on, or if we want to return to our regular time. But in the meantime, in between time, tune in this Saturday. A hell of a collaboration between the Sports for You Wrestling podcast and the Undisputed GOAT podcast. I cannot wait to do that collaboration and watch SummerSlam right on my computer right now as I join my guys. This will be the first one that we've done since WrestleMania, I would say. So
shout out to Trail, shout out to John, shout out to Big Nick Freeze, shout out to all the fellas.
Yeah, Nick Freeze, man. That's my Nick Freeze, man. My guy. You're my guy. Mr. Watson, you're my guy. Trail, you're my guy. All of y'all. But especially my man Nick Freeze, man. I'm hoping that you'll make me laugh on the show again. So.
I'm telling you right now, if we do this collaboration and he show up, I already know to walk out of the classroom because I already know what's about to go down.
But on that note, man, hell of a job, man. And look, we'll see y'all next week, man. And we'll see y'all this Saturday. Let's go up. Let's go down. Peace.